Welcome back to the Compound Podcast. This is episode 188. 188 of the Compound Podcast, presented by Parse Rum. My favorite rum, your favorite rum, Parse Rum. When I say Parse, you say
rum.
You know what I'm really excited for? I'm really excited to do CubsCon Live Compound episode again and say, when I say Parse, you say it, and you just say rum. That was a cool experience. You guys are invited. Okay, you guys are invited to the CubsCon.
I got MetsCon that weekend. Sorry. Let's go Mets.
We're gonna do that.
Mets. What's funny is it's not even a joke in that I am at the point. I grew up a Yankees fan. I'm not a fan of any team anymore. I root for the people I know now. I like the Mets because Zack's there. I like the Cubs because I know obviously Ian and then a lot of other guys. And then if Jared Young gets called up to the Cardinals, I'm gonna be a Cardinals fan. You guys play him. I hope he gets 3 homers, but I don't know who I want to win. I don't know.
Did you see that thing that got tweeted at us? The picture of JY hitting and his dad.
Yeah, it was actually sick.
That was sick.
That was so cool.
I can look really quick to see who sent it to us.
When did it get tweeted at us?
A couple days ago, maybe a week ago.
Hang on. I want to find it. I actually don't even think I liked it.
That's not nice.
Pretty rude.
No, listen. Had a lot of things going on.
Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
no, not even that.
Slow it down. Well,
I don't know.
This episode is brought to you by Parse Rum. Go to Benny's, go to your local liquor store, stack up on Parse before the holidays. There's also long list on Parse's Instagram of all of the places where it's sold in Florida. So if you're in Florida and you're looking for Parse, long list of places. It's all over the place. Or just take a flight to Florida, go get your Parse, and then come back. I can't see anything with JY anywhere on any of my things.
I can't find it either. That's really weird.
It's really weird.
Well, I'm in Dakota's likes right now, and it's all about Dan's AI sports picks.
We're gonna do
Guys, a guru. He's got an algorithm. He's got
Dakota's
an algorithm.
liking all of them.
We're off the rails.
It's money, dude. He's winning me money.
Get the boys back on the rails.
He's winning me money. If anyone wants to follow him, that's a shout out. Maybe that guy will give me free picks. If he starts charging, they're all free.
We're doing CubsCon Compound Live again. Very excited. We don't have the guest list finalized, but we're working on it. Working on who's going to be coming on, all the guests, and it's going to be a great time, like it was last year. And Dakota said he's going to guest appear at CubsCon and help me host.
I
like that.
That'd be a lie. It's just funny scrolling through my likes, Zach, now that I'm doing it. It's literally either a tweet about one of you two or something Big Cat tweeted. And that is the only things I like.
Or Dan's AI sports pick.
Yep. If you want some winners, give him a follow. The funny thing is, I randomly, real quick, I know Ian's going to get mad. I found that account randomly popped up on my feed, and 9 other people that I follow also follow this random guy. So it's got to be pretty good. All right, continue. Sorry.
Tom, are you editing that all out, or are you going to keep that in?
Keep it in.
Yeah, that's we'll see. We'll see how I feel. That's a game time decision.
What's wrong with that? It's not illegal.
Tom, how are you feeling about the Yankees' chances of signing Yamamoto?
I want him to be a Met.
I'm a little bit worried, but Uncle Stevie might drop a real bag. Uncle Stevie might be also the Dodge. I mean, I would say I feel 30% chance the Yankees sign him because it feels like it's the Dodgers and the Mets are equally right there with the Yankees. So, but if they've talked about Cashman's made it very clear that pitching is the priority now, we'll see what happens. I did see today a funny Yankee headline that Stanton said his goal for the offseason is to reestablish his athleticism, which is not something I've ever heard anyone say before, and I don't know how you do that. Because I would love to reestablish my athleticism too, but I kind of feel like it's come and gone for me and Giancarlo, if I'm honest.
If I had to guess, I think he's probably saying, and this is in no way factual, I'm thinking he's probably I'm too stiff and muscular, and he probably wants to get more limber and
maybe a little bit more flexible,
yeah,
maybe some
flexible,
running.
that's the word.
Flexibility, running. Maybe he's going to do Pilates all off season.
Always good when you're paying a guy $30 million a year who needs to restore his athleticism. That's
we all need to restore our athleticism.
Ian, does Frankie Lindor have a Gold Glove?
He does. Yeah.
So then,
might have a platinum.
If I was the Mets, I'd say, hey, listen, Yamamoto, do you like a middle infield with a platinum glove winner and then a future platinum glove winner? Do you like that sort of thing?
How about
Those
I was
two
looking
guys
a
you
few.
want?
I was looking. I don't know if it was during the season or not. I graded out pretty poorly on some of the positions that I played. I didn't love it. That was mean.
I know. I no longer. If you think I'm looking at stats, you're insane. It's an eye test thing, and I'll take you over anyone.
Thanks, buddy.
Lindor has 2 Gold Gloves. Do you want to talk to my guy, the analytics guy, about
Ian's got a guy
defense?
that juices his stats.
I know he does.
No. He's a guy that is awesome from the analytics side, and you can see your deficiencies and you can work on them in the offseason.
He
No,
doesn't.
I
have
know
any.
my backhand.
Zach
I know.
doesn't. Zach doesn't have any.
Yeah.
So I guess really nothing to work on.
Okay, well, you don't talk to him. Tom,
Sorry, I was just hyping up my boy.
if the Yankees spend $300 million on Yamamoto, are you comfortable with that, or are you like, leave?
Oh, I mean, it's not my money. I'm very comfortable spending someone else's money.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's true, but you run into the luxury tax problem. You run into the problem where if they spend X, then they don't have money to spend on Soto. Can bring back Soto or bring in somebody else over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a fair point. If you make it in terms of could it affect them bringing in Soto next season again, that would be a concern. But Yamamoto's, I feel really, having now done more research into him a little bit, I feel pretty confident that he's going to be a guy. So I think it's obviously anytime you're bringing someone over who's never pitched in the majors, it's a roll the dice a little bit. But the numbers that he's put up, it's hard to imagine him, whether it's a right away or maybe even takes him a year or two. It's hard to imagine him not finding success in America. So
He's also 25 years old, which is
which is different than a lot of other guys that have come over. A lot of times they've been later in their careers.
Yeah, coming over at 25. So even if it does take you a couple years to figure it out, you're still only 27, 28, and you have, 6, 7 more years of that contract to be really good. Like
Ian, can I ask?
Somebody's gonna get a good player. Go ahead.
Are Cubs gonna do anything? I mean, why do I feel like I'm not hearing them in on anyone? They have to have so much money to spend.
They're in on everybody. It's early in the
Apparently
offseason.
not.
It's early in the offseason. There hasn't been that much money spent. There hasn't been that much that's gone on yet.
No, I more so meant like towards the end of Ohtani, they weren't talked about at all. Like they were the early like, ooh, Cubs in on Ohtani. Ooh, Cubs in on Yamamoto. And I feel like I haven't heard anything about them on either of them. Or well, obviously Ohtani, but Yamamoto.
There's a lot of good players out there still. I haven't gone through the free agent process, but going into the new year without a team for so many of these guys has got to be tough.
Whew. That like you obviously want to get the best deal you can as a player, but at the same time, you're like, oh. I mean, the thing is, it's probably easier when like Blake Snell, like I'm gonna get signed, like someone's gonna pay me $250 million, like it's going to happen. Yep. It's just seeing how much you can get.
Yeah, just the not being able to set up your spring training and knowing where you're gonna go and
for sure
get in a house or wherever. That's got to be tough. But the market's gonna break for like one of those dudes, and then the whole thing is gonna go.
Well, I kind of felt
we said that about Ohtani too.
I was like, didn't we feel that way with Ohtani?
We said that about Ohtani too.
It does feel like the teams that are on Yamamoto, then they're going to be on Snell. Once Snell goes, then Montgomery goes.
That's what I was going to say. Once like Snell, Belly, once the like $200+ million contracts are gone, I feel like all the rest go pretty like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it should move pretty quick.
Because then teams are scrambling to be like, all right, well, who is our quote unquote backup plan for not getting this guy?
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a bunch of conversations going on where they're like, hey, just checking in. How's that number?
I wonder if teams.
Is there a lot of thinking about yous going on? Hey, thinking about you.
You think teams tell guys like, hey, listen, we're trying to get Yamamoto, but like if we don't, like we'd love to sign Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm sure they say that. I'm sure they say that with like different words too. Like,
yeah.
Hey, Ian, we're just waiting to see what the market does. As in, like overseas coming over here, just going to see where everybody's going.
Just waiting on the market.
Yeah, just the market, man. It's that time of the year, man. But hey, I can see you in our colors.
So we have a big announcement. Not we, one of us has a big announcement. And it's presented by Bruce Bolt.
I wish we were still sponsored by what was Kendra Scott? I wish we were still sponsored by Kendra Scott. That'd be perfect. Dang it.
Me too. That's a free ad. Bruce Bolt, the best batting gloves in the game. Zach loves them. He's wearing them.
Love
Zach,
them.
you got a pair right next to
I
you?
don't have them. They're in my car.
Oh, they're in his car because he's. Are you gonna go hit after this or
Yes, I am.
Don't
Yep,
ask dumb
he's
questions. Come on.
about to
Kid
go?
doesn't
About to
take
go
days
hit
off.
after this. So
The
the gloves
kid-
are already in the
Oh.
car, packed up, ready to go. Bruce
Almost jumped the gun.
Bolt's best gloves in the game. They're insanely comfortable. They last forever. They're my gloves that I use on the field. I got baby blues. I got white with baby blue. Go check them out. Perfect holiday gifting. Might still be time to order them. And they also have shorts, 5-inch, 7-inch. Dakota
And a
likes
nice
the
hat.
5-inch.
too.
What's
Yeah.
on your head? Yeah, I was gonna say what's on your head
It's a
too.
great hat that I
I
got.
need one of those.
BruceBolt.us. BruceBolt.us. Go check them out. Now, Zach, do you have something you want to tell the people?
Yeah, I got engaged this weekend.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you
Yeah.
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
he
did.
did.
Yep. She
Look at our little boy. Look at our little boy. Our little
Yeah.
boy growing up, a big boy.
yeah, it worked out well. Had a lot of help from people. It was great. Great day. A lot of family involved, a lot of friends involved. Enjoyed it, obviously, but kind of glad it's over now, on to Christmas.
Are you going to tell a story?
No,
Tell a story.
yes.
People want to hear the story.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. I wanted it to be more so just a surprise of the day because kind of knew it was coming just in general where we are at in our lives. And I wanted to really keep it as casual as possible. We went to our favorite coffee shop in the morning and then we took our dog Chop for a walk at this nice area where there's a huge trail, and on the way out, I had, our photographer set up. Monica from the Tigers, who Fallon became friends with this year, was great.
She
look her
flew
up on-
out for it.
Yeah, it
That's
was
awesome.
great. It was awesome.
Yeah, she flew out or you flew her out. Yeah. Boy
Yeah,
got
well, hey.
money. That boy got money.
No, it was great. Like I said, she was a huge help. It was great seeing Fallon's reaction when, she saw her.
Did she see her before you proposed or no?
No, so that was
Okay.
funny. So where she told me she was, I kind of saw her walking up and then some little, I don't want to say commotion happened in the middle of this field where it was. It's like this mansion place with a dog or just a trail in general. People bring their dogs there. And one dog just wasn't on a leash and took the guy's frisbee or something. He was like, "Can you get your dog?" So Fallon was looking over there and Monica was right in that area where she was looking and I could see her and I'm like, son of a bitch, she's going to spot her. And I had to wait for these two guys who were walking by us to get out of the way because I knew the pictures were going to be right there. So I was stalling and I was like, if I stall for any longer, she's going to see Monica out there. So ended up, I waited just enough. The pictures came out great and there's nobody in the background or anything. And it was a complete surprise. And again, her seeing Monica was pretty special. Then her brother came out. And then we had a little family thing at a restaurant after, and it was a good day.
Will you admit you were nervous now?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't.
You tried to play it cool.
Did
with
you have
us.
sweaty palms? How were your palms?
No, I was good, man. I was good. I
No.
got asked if I was shaking, put on the ring. I said, no, I'm good. I
You're
might have
you're
stuttered over my
such a
words a
liar.
little bit, but I was good. What do you mean?
You the whole time, Ian, we're texting him. I texted him.
She's
20
right here. I'm trying to play it cool. Come on.
I texted him 20 times about this probably during the week, and every time I have to text him is the chat secure?
Yeah, I
just in
mean,
case
yeah,
she saw her
who's-
phone, his
Yeah,
phone.
and I mean,
I didn't
she-
give it away.
she
I
wouldn't
was
have-
smart.
She wouldn't have suspected anything if
If I said, "Is the chat secure?" She'd be like, "Oh, Zach's proposing." Those
she'd be
two
like,
do
oh,
not.
what's that about?
Then you'd make something up. You're quick on your feet.
No.
But
Yeah, you are quick on your feet.
the day of, this is how I knew you were nervous. He was asking our group text what hat he should wear and what shirt he should wear to be able to hide the ring. He's like, do
Well,
I
that
go
was-
beanie or do
okay,
I go
so-
snapback? What do I do?
So that was the thing. It was warmer than I suspected. So I was like, man, I can't really go with jacket. I can't. And this one sweatshirt I was going to wear, I'm like, well, you can't do that either because it's going to stick out. So I just had a vest and I thought she saw it. I don't know how she didn't, but I'm walking the whole time. I'm just like, I mean, she's probably looking right at it.
When I proposed, I had my ring in my pocket for a hour and a half, 2-hour car ride. And I would just every 2 seconds, still there,
Yeah.
still there.
Yep. I did that. I did do that a few times too. I was just checking it. I was like, all right, Can't go out of the pocket that's zipped up anyway. So
And one of our buddies tried to tell him not to wear a hat at all. And I was like, if he goes no hat, she'll definitely know something's going on. Because Zack, if anyone knows Zack, he always has a hat on.
yeah, and like that's what I was saying. So like again, I was like I had not sweat like nice sweatpants on with like a vest and a hood and sneakers on because I like if I wore jeans to go take Chop for a walk, it would have been like,
What are you doing?
what? Yeah, so the pictures might be tainted a little bit because I had a hoodie or a beanie on, but it's worth it.
It was funny though, because you said the morning of she was like taking forever to get ready. And you're like, what are you doing? We're just going for a walk. Like, why are you getting all dressed up?
I know.
So it worked out perfectly.
I know. But yeah, no, it was good. Good day.
Last thing to tie it back into Bruce Bolt, Ian. Very next day, where do you think the kid is at 7 a.m.? He's
Swanging it.
He's still swanging it.
He's
There's
swanging
no
it.
days off.
No.
Sunday
How many
morning,
Bruce
7
Bolts in
a.m.
your car.
That's it.
Feel ready? How's your swing?
No, I'm dialed.
I hit off the tee today.
What else is
great?
new?
Nice. Nice.
Hitting on Thursday again.
You usually get
Zack-
bored or what? Because usually this is pretty early for you.
I was gonna
Good
say,
po-
Zach,
Why
I'm-
Why are you fucking hitting?
do you
I'm at-
think
I'm at Wrigley, so it's like so easy to walk down the cage.
Zach, do you think you'll ever be at a point in your career where you don't hit until January 1st?
Yeah, if I sign a 3-year, $62 million contract, probably.
61, you'll continue to get it wrong.
Damn it.
Um,
But then I'll just wait a little. I won't listen.
I
probably
don't
will.
think so. I think
probably
you'll
will.
still hit a week
The
after
thing
the
is-
season.
Dude, it's so fucking gross how like I do enjoy it, but then I get so mad, but then I enjoy it too. Like there's no better feeling than thinking you have it during
Mhm.
like, when something flips a switch, you're like, oh my God, this is great. And then you wake up one day and you don't know where your right elbow is. And you're just like, I don't know what's going on.
I
Right.
think you can definitely overdo it, but I don't think it's a bad thing that you
No.
enjoy going to hit. Like I'd say it's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I just need to learn how to have some grace with myself where it's like,
Correct.
hey, bro, it's December 1st. You're not going to be ready to hit a fucking 90-mile-an-hour slider from hell. Like,
And you
You're
just like
great.
in the off season, you have to pick the things you want to work on,
Yeah.
and you just have to work on them.
And so again, something that I've come to terms with a little bit better this year, it's like for you to make a change, you have to be very intentional on doing it every day or like truly keep hammering at it. It's not going to switch overnight. And that was like
No.
my big thing where like I would try something one day and be like, it looks the fucking same, where it's like, bro, like your body's not a machine. Like you have to, train it one way to move or like completely exaggerate one thing to move it that much,
Mm-hmm.
And if you play the chase game all off season, and then you get to spring training and you're like, this doesn't feel right, then you just like you spend all that time in the off season hitting for something that you're just gonna wash when you get to spring training.
Right.
Like
And
I've done that. Like I did
Right.
that, and I did that the off season between 18 and 19. Like I spent all off season trying to do something that completely fucked me up and led me to hit a $120 in spring training and get sent down. And it's like,
Yeah.
I did it for the right reasons. Like I did it to try to be a better player and to like do some of the stuff that I was being told was like the right thing to do. And it was like, didn't work. And
Yeah.
so then like I learned pretty quickly, like, all right, like I'm not gonna wholesale my swing to do something that when I get to camp, I'm just gonna be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
And
Nice
that's
thing.
right. And that's again where I will give myself kind of a pat in the back where it's like, okay, this is what I'm choosing to attack this year. And like if it feels like shit for a day or two, like, hey, we're still gonna do it. You're gonna give yourself time to adapt to it and learn to it, opposed to just being like, nah, blow it up.
Zach's also the most confident, self-deprecating person that I know. He is at all times very confident in his abilities, but he will also have a bad game. And the very first text is, I fucking suck. I'm completely lost with my swing. Next
Bro,
day.
you don't know how it is with a
but I'm
hitter,
not
man.
saying, yes, but I'm not saying that for a second you doubt yourself. It's just you're quick to be like, I fucking suck. What
Well,
the
like,
I couldn't hit
it's
anything.
just so like, unless you see like, this is so how you shouldn't coach or say anything, but like, unless you see like results, right?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
why, like, I'm a human being. Like, I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, like, look at the back of your baseball card with, like, yeah, like, your ass right now, bro. It's all good. Like,
But I
But
said
then-
it to Scooble. I said it to Scooble last week. It's Tom House's thing where he says process over results. Like you just
right.
need
And that's
to
what I'm saying. Like,
trust your process.
right.
As
But
cliche as that sounds.
I'm about done with the P word process here because it's like, hey, brother, you know. But again, to that point, like, I also haven't really trusted the process either because I've blown everything up that I've tried for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's really hard when you know there's more in the tank and the stuff you try doesn't give you the results that you're looking for because you know it's
For
in
sure.
there.
And
you've made the
that's
swings.
yes.
Like you've made the blackout swings, like that feeling when you're in the game and dude throws a pitch and you go like, holy shit, how'd I do that?
Bro,
Like we've all done that, and it's like, all right, now I have to make that repeatable, and then you search for the thing that is going to make that repeatable, and when it doesn't work over and over, you go, what the fuck? Because I know it's in there. I know I have the ability to do it. I have to get to it more consistently. And like trying to form that plan to actually do it is the hardest. It's the hardest thing about hitting. It's
And
the
that's
hardest thing about sports.
that is 100% what separates the good players from the great players, the bad players from the good players. It's just like they are able
There's
to
no bad
repeat
players
it.
in the MLB. Sorry.
Okay. In general, the guys who, you know, who fizzle out after like rookie ball, where it's just like, hey man, like, you know, I'm just saying. It's like the people who figure out how to repeat it day in and day out, or okay, hey, this clicked. Okay, I'm gonna stick to those little principles, even if something is a little bit off. Like,
Yep.
okay, I'm off today. Like, how am I gonna make this swing work?
Yep.
You know, where
How am I going to get through today? And then like the flip side of the hardest part is when you know what it is that gets you good, and you start going shitty. What are your cues to get back to good without
Right.
falling into the deepest, darkest hole? And like shit, I've been doing it for a while. I fell into a deep, dark hole for 2 months and like clawed out of it to find. I was spending a little bit of time on Ivy yesterday. Like I had 1,000 OPS for the last 2 weeks of the season.
right,
And like that was when I found it again. Like
right.
from June, left-handed from June until September 17th was grinding.
And that sucks from like me. I like my middle of the year this year, like you could have thrown me anything and I'm like, yo, I got it. Like everything was kind of clicking. You wake up like, okay, I feel good. My body's in the right spot. And then towards the end, you know, you see your at bats kind of go down a little bit and you're trying to hit, you know, 3 doubles and 1 at bat. And then you look up, like, again, I was hitting like 225 or 230 with like 3 weeks left in the year. And I'm like, yo, let's do it. Let's put all the pressure on yourself to
Yeah,
finish.
250, 260 is right there. It's
Yeah,
right
you
there.
know, and then little do you know, 205 is right there as well. When
Yep.
you're having limited at bats, you go 0 for 4. You play
Dude.
again next week, you go 1 for 4, 1 for 5, and you're just like, fuck me, dude. Like, how do I stay away from again? It's you know, it's easier, like, you know, when you're playing every single day, you know you're getting 5 at bats, you know, it's all good. But at the end, on that side too, you know you're there.
Yeah,
You
you're
better
getting it.
fucking you better figure it out.
It's so easy to press that too. It's like, you know, I was hitting 310 at the end of, at the end of April, and I'm hitting 290, 300 at the end of May or something. And then it's like, oh shit, like end of June, you're hitting 250. And then it's like, all right, you know, still got this right there. And then like, before you know it, you're hitting 230 and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And like when you watch that happen and like every day you come into the cage and it's a battle, I think that's like the stuff that people don't see as much is like when you lose it, when it escapes you for a little while, like those days in the cage just suck.
And that dude,
Suck.
so like with my role, the only time that I would really hit because I want to stay, you know, I would do my routine early, but then like if I didn't play, it's like, okay, I have to go into the cage, basically just hit machine or BP. Like there's no time to fucking figure it out in live pitching. Oh, by the way, you're gonna get a pretty big at bat here, and you have to trick yourself that you don't feel like shit, and then like it's just a different man. Like how do you fight through today and get a win out of that at bat? It's
Yeah.
fucking hard, man.
It's the biggest challenge is the mental side is so important because sometimes you can just confident yourself back into being good. And sometimes it really is a physical thing that is just, and you need one cue to get you back, and you can go through 50 cues, and the 51st one is
That's
the right one.
Ian, how frustrating is it, or Dakota, when you're pitching, like, this cue worked for me last week. Like, why is this cue not working right now? Like, I'm thinking about my
it's
pinky
the
toe. Why
worst.
is it not working?
I always did that when I'd pitch. I'd have like one thing where I'd think whatever, just something little. I'm sure it's the same for hitters, like just one little thing. I'm like, oh, when I do that, I located that right where I wanted. That was electric. I'm like, let's just do that every time. Next time out there, it's like, wait a second, why'd I yank it? It worked last time.
It's wild, dude. The human body and the human mind is so fucking ridiculous.
It took me 2.5 months to figure out that if I had just put a little bit of pressure in my back knee from the left side, like I'll rake. It took me 2.5 months to figure that out. You know how many different things I tried in those 2.5 months? Holy shit.
Ian, I was going to ask you, because I noticed it last year, and like you've always walked a lot, but like when you see, like, I remember looking one time and your average was like whatever 235, but your OBP was still like 360. Like, do you try to walk more, or like try to just work counts more?
I just
when you know you're struggling.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I end up walking more because I foul balls off and get deeper into counts. Like when you're good, when I'm going good, like those pitches, I don't miss. You know, I hit them in play, I do damage. And when I'm going bad, which is a thing that I've like worked on and developed over the course of my career, is like instead of getting my ticket punched, like I'm fouling those balls off and letting myself go deeper in counts so the walks come when I'm struggling. But also, sometimes when you are in that space where you don't feel very comfortable or confident, like the best thing you can do is get deep in the count, just try to get on base. And so there was a lot of that. There's a lot of them. And like early in the year, I walked a ton and was going good. And then the middle of the year, I was struggling and walking.
Yeah.
That's how you stay productive.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like that's a added benefit that both of you have good eyes. Like walking when you're scuffling to get hits, you're still getting on base, and that's what it's all about sometimes.
Yep. And that keeps you going. Some of the guys that I've talked to in the past, Riz, or a couple of conversations with Votto on first about like those are successful days in the big leagues. Like when you can get on base, and like that's what keeps you going through the course of the season. Like those things are huge.
Like if your bad day is 0 for 2 with 2 punchies and 2 walks, it's like, well, got on base half the time. Like that's sometimes that's all you can do.
Yeah, and that I try to preach that to young guys when they come up, is like, I know that when you're in AA and AAA, that doesn't feel like a good day because you're just dominating, but it's a great day in the big leagues.
Dude, there is no, like, as bad as it sounds, like one of my favorite things to do, especially when you feel like shit, is grind out a walk. Like that is so good for your mental.
Of the day,
dude.
walk.
Oh
Come on.
God.
Riz
go ahead.
Riz will text me all the time. He'll look at the box score, and I'll be 0 for 2 with 2 walks, and he'll say, 2 walks today. It's a beautiful day. Like,
dude,
it just like that. We do that to each other, and having someone that is like a constant reminder of like the importance of that is huge for me. Huge.
Well, obviously for like you and Riz, who are in the middle of the order, like you don't want to do that every day because you want to drive in runs. But like to your point of like younger guys, like, hey man, if you're down in like 7, 8, 9, get on base. We don't.
If you turn that lineup over to somebody like who's a Nico at the top of the lineup, who's going to put the ball in play.
Like PCA, if you can walk in the 8-hole, man, and have your speed on first, great. We don't need you to get a hit. Like just find a way over to first base.
As big as it is for the team, and like baseball's so tough because it's like, oh, it's good for the team. Like, yeah, man, when you do good things, good for the team.
No shit.
But also, like baseball is such an individual sport, hitter pitcher matchup. Like it's so individual. Like and I think the toughest thing for analytics to like the human element of it is when you go 0 for 3 with a walk instead of 0 for 4. It is such a big mental hurdle. Like when you go 0 for 4 instead of 0 for 5 and a walk, if you go 0 for 3 with 2 walks versus an 0 for 5, like that gets you to the next day. Mentally, that gets you to the next day where you can go and actually have the success the next day. When you stack 2 0 for 5s on top of each other, it's like, holy shit. I just had 10 at-bats in 2 days and didn't sniff getting on first. Yeah. But if you go 0 for 3 with 2 walks and 0 for 4 with the walk, and you're 0
you're above
0 for 7, you're 0 for 7 with 3 walks, you're like, there's a couple hits, dude, we're right back in this thing. We're right.
And it's funny because like from the other side, from a pitcher side, obviously guys want hits. Like it feels better. Like, oh, my swing feels good. I got a base knock. But like from the pitcher side, I get way more pissed when I walk a guy versus give up like a single in the 6 hole. Like if you roll over one in the 6 hole, I'm like, fucking lucky, like whatever. But if I walk, you're like, what are you doing? You gave the guy the base. Like figure it out.
Yeah.
Like those
and I think,
are way more.
I think that like our offense in Chicago this year had a lot of success when we would like work deep counts and get guys to give free bases, and it would kind of pile. Like the days that we walked, we didn't just have like 2 walks, like we would have like 5. And like when you get a pitcher, especially a starting pitcher, to walk a couple guys in the first 2 or 3 innings, like that is huge.
You know, you're having a mound visit. You know, there's guys out there starting to move around.
Pitch counts up. That guy's like upset because he's giving away free bases. Like those are the type of things that can really get an offense rolling. And it's like such a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
But last point is, like you said, with the younger guys again, they're probably coming up thinking like, it's not sexy for me to walk. Like I want to come up and set the world on fire, which is of course like a mindset people will have, but it's like, you got to just, if you're a rookie and you can come up and get on base 350 OBP, like you're going to stick around most likely. Like if you can just get on base.
It also shows that it's not too big for you too.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a huge, it was a huge part of our philosophy in Chicago in those early years, was like getting on base is like super important. And they looked for guys that walked and slugged. You know, it was a priority in the minor leagues. It was talked about. And like Benny Zoe, I went up to work out with the big league team my first spring training in 16. I wasn't in big league camp, but I went over there for one day, and I was taking ground balls at second with Benny Zoe. One of the first things he said to me was like, "Do you walk?" I was like, "Yeah, actually I do. I'm got a pretty good eye, Ben." Yeah.
It's one of my better strengths at the plate.
And he was like, "Well, when you get to the big leagues, walking is really hard. It's like it's really, really hard. Getting
pitchers don't miss that much in the big leagues either. Like
and
they don't throw that
winning,
many balls.
It's like winning 3-2 counts in the big leagues is really hard because guys don't give in. Like
you're not getting 3-2 heaters. Like I don't want to walk him. Here's a heater.
You're not getting a 3-2 heater. Like
dude,
especially if you're good and you're hitting the middle line, you're getting 3-2 splits. You're getting 3-2 curveballs in the dirt. Like
they're still trying to strike you out.
And like that always has resonated with me. As Benny Zoe was like, it's not easy to walk in the big.
Bro, we had a quote in Detroit. I think it was 2 years ago. It was like 3-2 is 2-2, where it's like, if you get to 3-2, you can't be like, all right, okay, I'm good here. I know what I'm getting. It's still like, bro, you got to treat that shit like it's 2-2. Like, hey, this is still a fucking huge pitch.
And the funniest part about the big leagues is like, even 3-1, like you're probably still not seeing a heater.
Bro.
Like they're like, pitchers can throw, especially starters, throw 4 pitches for a strike. Like they feel confident in everything. So it's like
if you swing 3-0 and you foul it off, there is something in the back of your mind. You're like, he might come something else here, bro. He might.
100%.
How do we even get to that? That was good.
I don't know. That was good.
That was Zach's favorite segment of the last 187 episodes.
Yeah.
It's time to take a break from today's episode of Compound and tell you about our friends at DraftKings. All I want for the holidays this year is some NBA action. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5. An instant dub just for you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code COMPOUND. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with code COMPOUND. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/basketball for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. All right, guys, let's get you right back into this week's episode of Compound.
The MLB announced the spring breakout game is what I had as one of them.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So that Do we know exactly what that is? That's going to be, is that all different prospects, or is like the Cubs prospects playing the Diamondbacks prospects?
That's what I was going to ask you, honestly. I figured it was like a team.
Tom?
I viewed it as like the fall stars or like what's the thing in season they do?
The futures game? Is it?
The
Yeah.
fut-
Is it not
I was like, isn't
futures
this
game?
basically a futures game in spring training? That's what I viewed it as, and that's why I thought it was kind of weird.
No, I believe it's each team. So I think each team's prospects play, like as Ian said, like the Cubs would play the Diamondbacks prospects, because it says 30 teams are involved. So I believe that's how it works. I will read right.
I don't know. I mean, I saw it and I was kind of just like, oh, like that's cool. I mean, I feel like a lot of the big prospects like play in spring training games. Like Brennan Davis was hitting in spring training games when he was 19. Like Pete Crow Armstrong was in spring training games at 19. Like,
Yeah, I guess
don't know.
people have to. I guess people have to wait until like the 7th or 8th inning to see that, and then
true.
like if you like really care about your team, you'll know like the AA prospects. But like the average viewer doesn't know those guys, so I guess they're trying to like really pump them up. Tom?
Yeah, so the Cubs play the White Sox on Friday, March 15th. Both organizations are supposed to send 20 to 25 of their best prospects to the game. And then
We used to do this in spring training because I remember going to Texas and playing a game like this in spring in like 16. I hit a homer. That's why I remember.
You're bad.
Not a big deal.
Oops.
But I do remember doing something like that. Obviously, it wasn't televised like this and hyped, but I'm sure it'll be a nice. It'll be a nice thing.
I thought it was a cool like idea. I mean, I don't think it's anything too crazy, but like I said, like I feel like I like it better that it's like the Cubs prospects play the White Sox prospects. I thought it was like, oh, like each team sends like 3 of their best prospects. I'm like, we do that already. It's called the futures game.
I think Major League Baseball is trying really hard because every other sport, the top prospects are immediately at the highest level. And I think baseball is trying really hard to put some light on the prospects so people know who they are when they get there, and then they are stars when they arrive and easier to market. I think that's kind of the goal here.
It's smart.
And they've definitely been trying hard over the last couple of years to do that.
Well, here's my gripe. We'll move right into my gripe. They're trying hard at that. But then this past Saturday, they had the MLB Award Show, which I didn't even know happened until today. I was listening to a podcast and I heard them say that it happened Saturday. I said, fooled me. I had no idea that even happened. How is that possible that like and I get like award shows or whatever, like most of the time, but it's like, I feel like it should have been hyped up a little bit more to where at least I knew it was happening. Like I had no idea. I don't know if you guys did, but I had no clue. I'm sure
I saw them on Instagram and everybody was dressed up and they were like, oh, the all MLB thing. And I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. Like that's crazy to me. Like, how is that possible that people in the world of baseball didn't even know it was a thing? Like I didn't even know that was a show.
Yeah, I think All MLB is a newer award. It's an end of the year all-star type of award, and it's just one team. So you don't get like ALNL, you just get one group for the entire league. They definitely spent a lot of money on the production of that thing, right? To put on the dinner and bring everybody and have red carpet and everything. So you'd hope that there was a little bit more hype around it. Maybe celebrate the guys that had great years a little bit more.
But I just feel like this always happens with MLB. There was something, it might have been.
There was something earlier this year, I remember.
Yeah, and it was just like, what the fuck are we doing? It's like, it's basically like Super Bowl Sunday, they're announcing something, and it's like, what are we doing? I remember seeing it on Twitter. It's like, oh, the MLB, like whatever awards it is on tonight. And we're like, well, this is one of the biggest sports night of the year. What are we doing? Like, why do we have this on TV today?
That was the craziest part. Is it was like you said, there's 3 NFL games, there was bowl games all day, and I think NBA was going on, college basketball. Like that's a crazy choice. Like honestly, do it on like, I know it's a weird day, but do it on like a Tuesday night, like when there's nothing. Like you're gonna at least have a chance of getting people to watch.
Oh, but again, like, no, is the all MLB like? Are people going to tune in to watch? Like, ooh, I want to see who wins, like the all MLB team. Like, like basically, it's like, yeah, all right, Garrett Cole, Adley Rutschman, like.
I agree.
I could be wrong.
I mean, people. Yeah, I don't know that people are necessarily tuning in for like the NBA, all NBA awards or the
True.
and NFL, whatever they do.
And that wasn't my gripe. It was more just that I didn't even know it was happening. Like,
Yes.
I agree. I don't think like no one really watches the NFL Pro Bowl even. Like, no one really watches that stuff, but it's like you should at least know what's going on.
And you could probably do a better job of making a show around it, interviewing the players, having players interview players. Like the All-Star Game is a big deal. Like the All-Star Game in Major League Baseball is a big deal. They do a good job of like televising that and having guys walk down the red carpet, making that a big deal. So I know that that's in the middle of the season when nothing else is going on and it's literally the only show in town that day, but they definitely could do a better job of some of the award stuff and highlighting some of it better. I mean, Rawlings does a really good job with the Gold Glove show on ESPN and like doing that. You know, that's guys accomplish a lot, and to actually celebrate it's important.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Is it not obviously Gold Glove's its own thing, but obviously that wasn't like Gold Glovers didn't go.
No.
Like you could have went and I wouldn't even know.
Yep, you would have no idea. Let's go to the Glasnow trade. We got Glasnow and Margot headed to the Dodgers for prospects. One was in the big leagues. One was in the big leagues with the Dodgers, right?
Yeah. The right-handed hitter. What's his name?
It was pitcher.
DeLuca. No.
Wasn't
DeLuca? Oh, Pepio. But wasn't the guy going? I don't know if it was finalized. It might have been just a talk. There's like a guy like DeLuca or something that I thought might have gotten traded to. I guess not. But and yeah,
Tom?
I mean, I faced Pepio this year. I mean, he has an electric heater. And then they bring in a guy who has even more electric heater with a better curveball. And then extended him for $135 million.
It's a trade that makes sense for both sides. I mean, it makes sense for the Rays to unload the contract and get some guys that will probably be studs for them because that's what they do. And then it makes sense for the Dodgers. They needed a little bit more pitching. They go out and get Glasnow. They extend him. And, you know, if he turns into being – he is an ace when he's healthy, one of the best in the game.
Have you faced him?
Nope. I faced him when he was like in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Way back.
They say him on the Tampa mound. I don't know if you've played it in the Trop before.
Not since 17.
They say the mound is like I was there in spring training this year. We had a game in there, and like as soon as you walk onto the field, it just grabs your eye. You're just like, holy fuck, that mound is huge. And they say when he gets on there and he's up there throwing just straight downhill, it's like, I mean, we have no chance. Like this guy is incredible when he's on.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the best in the game, and you know if they get him healthy for 25, 30 starts a year, you know, at that price, I mean he's an absolute ace. Yes, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is how the fuck do they get him healthy? He's thrown over 100 innings as a starter once in his entire career. He's thrown over 100 innings twice in his career, but half of that was out of the bullpen in Pittsburgh before they traded him to Tampa. I mean, the guy's never thrown more than 120 innings. The last, you go look at his last 5 years. This year he threw 120 innings. The previous year he threw 6.2 coming off Tommy John, 88, 57, 60. I mean, this is a guy that you're giving $135 million to. And he's entering his age 31 season. He turns 31 in August. I think this is an insane contract to give. Obviously, you see the talent, but there's been nothing in his track record that has shown to this point that he's worthy of a 5-year, $135 million investment, because at the end of the day, he hasn't been there when teams need him.
Is there something to say to that though? So like say he's missed a few years because of injury, like he still has so much left in the tank at the end, like to play devil's advocate. Like, yeah, okay, he's been hurt his whole career, but then on the other side, like he's got a lot of bullets saved up where it's like if you get anything of what this guy was in Tampa, with the help of the Dodgers as well, who have a history of, just having guys, right? I mean,
they're the best at developing pitching and all.
Right. So like, obviously, again, it's hard, $135 million is a lot of fucking money. Don't get me wrong, Tom. Like, I agree, but if that takes them over the hump, because that's been their, their Achilles heel has been starting pitching over the last however many years, right? If that gets them over the hump, I would say it's worth it. Of a guy whose his upside is so high.
Yep. I have two other counter arguments. One would be that the Dodgers could be so good that they just need him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And, even if he is injured or down in the middle of the year for a little bit, like if he's there in the playoffs, it's a big deal for them. The other thing is I think he made all of his starts in 20. I think he had an issue in 19 that like he never got surgically repaired, had that same issue in 21, and then like this is like the first time that he actually got it fixed was when he had to get TJ. So came back this year, made 21 starts, and then like he's actually kind of feels like he's actually healthy for the first time. We'll find out how real that is, but like Zach said, the upside is just so ridiculous. And like starting pitching gets paid, and you're paying Garrett Cole $300 million
Right.
because he makes 30 starts a year. Like that's what, if the guy makes 30 starts a year and he has the stuff, like he's making $300 million. So like 135 is the price for the upside. And if he figures it out and he's healthy, then you're paying $135 million for somebody who should be worth 300 plus.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys are making the fair points that if he's healthy, he has the potential to be one of the best starting pitchers in the game. This is also, though, a guy with a career 3.89 ERA. And in the playoffs, a limited sample size, obviously, 45 innings. But that's not, 10 innings. That's, 45 and 2/3. He's got a 5.72 ERA. So you're talking about a guy that hasn't pitched well in the playoffs, hasn't thrown more than 120 innings in his career. He's eight years into his career, doesn't even have 600 innings. The upside is obviously there, but it feels like a lot of things have to go right that have seemingly never gone right for him in his career all at once to have the kind of success that you'd be paying someone. Even if I understand your point, you're right that he's not making Garrett Cole money. 135 million for 5 years, though. Garrett Cole's contract's 10 years. That he's getting on an average annual basis something not dissimilar from Garrett Cole, and he's not even in the same realm of conversation to me at this point.
He also, his ERA in Tampa, after he left Pittsburgh, his ERA in Tampa is 3.2.
I was going to say, and then, so on the other, like Shane Bieber, right? His career ERA is a 3.27. Who would you rather have, Tom? Or anybody?
Like who?
What, Shane Bieber? What is Bieber's contract going to be?
He's got one more year.
Does he? Oh, he's going to get traded, right? Right? Yeah, and then extended okay. Got it. So say he has another Shane Bieber year. What does he get more than would he get more?
I mean, yeah, you look at his contract, it's 135. I mean, you look at like what did Nola just get? Like 170?
I don't know.
I think Nola just got 170. Like talking about Nola's been healthy. He's been really healthy.
It's true, yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
I like a lot of it's timing.
I like the move for the Dodgers.
Like if Bieber goes out and has a healthy season and shoves again, like he might get 200 million.
Right.
Like if he goes out and is nasty and he's a Cy Young finalist or whatever, like and a team really needs an arm and maybe the free agency is weak, like maybe a team says here's 200 for you. Like I feel like a lot of it is just like what's available out there and what teams' needs are at the same time.
Bieber last year threw more innings in only 21 starts than Glasnow has in his entire career, through 128 innings, and he's crossed the 200 inning threshold twice. Starting pitching is a spot to me where you want the best available, the best skill is being available. So that to me is I just respectfully to Glasnow, who's a great guy. He's on the Chris Rose rotation. He's an awesome player, just not the kind of starting pitcher that I want on my team. But the Dodgers are lucky that they have so much talent at almost every spot that maybe they can afford to take a risk like this. And if it pays off and he gets 30 starts for the first time in his career, they're going to look like geniuses.
I'm looking at pitcher contracts over $200 million. There's actually not that many. Would you like to hear them?
Please, I'm all ears.
Greinke, Scherzer, Kershaw, David Price, Garrett Cole, Strasburg.
That Strasburg one is so interesting. Did they ever come out and say? Because remember they said, yeah, we're going to honor the rest of his contract, and then he was going to have a retirement thing, and then they canceled it. Am I wrong? Didn't something like that happen, Tom?
Yeah, no, you're right. I was Googling it right now because I don't know whatever came of that. The last that we heard was that on September 8th that they planned that press conference, I believe, for the next day, and then they had canceled it, and we haven't since. A lot of that's probably going to come down to the insurance stuff. I mean, Ian can probably speak better to that than I can. Of the Nationals, I'm sure don't want to be on the hook for.
They don't
whatever
want to be right, exactly. That's
Yeah,
stupid.
I don't know if they had insurance on it or not.
Man, that sucks.
You would think you would hope they would have insurance on that kind of contract, even before these injuries that derailed his career and ended it. He was always a guy that was, much like Glasnow was always kind of injury prone.
And had a great run in the middle there.
Oh, I mean, one of the most electric pictures of the 2010s. Like even I remember his debut, Strasburg, where he punched out, I think, what was it, like 11 or 12 in that first start. And that had that, the Nationals really hadn't had any juice as a franchise at all. They get him, that he makes that first start. All of a sudden, all right, Nationals are something now.
And then he was big in the World Series run.
I cannot believe that they won the World Series that year.
I mean, look at the guys in that team, though. They had Soto. Dude,
Young
I know.
Gomes, ever heard of him?
Yeah, that's the homie.
Zimmerman, Rendon,
Trey Turner.
Group was stacked, and they had Scherzer.
Daniel
Patrick
Hudson,
Corbin,
nasty out of the pen that year too.
Wasn't
Doolittle
Schwarber on the team?
No.
You sure?
He was on the team of the year 2 years later. They won in 19. He was on the team in 21.
Yeah.
Clean it up, Dakota.
I don't know.
Omega Accounting Solutions. ERC. The Employee Retention Credit is a government tax incentive that helps small businesses get back up to $26,000 per employee for overpayment of payroll taxes. If you're a business owner with 5 to 500 W-2 employees who continued to pay taxes and employ staff during the pandemic, you can recover the overpaid money and get a refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Don't miss out on your small business tax credit, even if you got a PPP loan. Call 800-643-CUBS or visit smallbiz.cashback. Just kidding. smallbizcashback.com/Cubs for a free consultation. It's been a little bit slow out there. Okay. It's been a little bit slow of an off season. The people are getting a little antsy. I see the people on the Twitter. They're like, MLB needs to fix the off season. I said we should talk about this last week. This week, does MLB need a deadline? Free agent deadline.
How would that work?
Yeah.
But then what happens if they don't get signed? Hey, you can't play.
I don't know what happens in the other sports.
I think it makes the players more at risk of taking like a lesser deal. Like if only one team's like, hey, we'll give you this. No deal. Okay, well, guess you're free agent still.
What happens in football if people don't sign or basketball?
They remain free agents. Carson Wentz this year was a free agent until like week 14 when the Rams finally signed him.
Yeah.
He was out there practicing in every gear he ever had from NFL.
That was funny.
Is there like a penalty if they don't and they have to? Like, I'm confused of what happens. I don't really know, but would it be more exciting for the offseason if like the deadline? It's tough. Our offseason is also hard because we have holidays in our offseason. So we have Thanksgiving and then we have the Christmas, New Year's holiday area. Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa,
where the world kind of stops and people don't really do business.
Gotta touch them all. We gotta touch them all.
So it's like
Tom loved that. Yes,
it's like if you were gonna do
Boxing Day. Don't forget about Boxing Day. Also
I was gonna say it's not just Christmas, okay, Ian? Okay.
If you were gonna do a December 1st deadline, then you would have people working like through Thanksgiving.
Good. That's your job. Do your job. Sign people.
So you probably have to do like a mid-December deadline. Would it be like super entertaining? Yes, but then nothing would happen until the deadline. Because like that's what happens in trade deadline, right? Like nothing happens until the deadline. If you put a deadline in Major League Baseball, I can promise you one thing: nothing happening until the deadline. Nothing.
Yep.
Why don't you just have like a dead? Is that what you just like? Why not like a dead period?
I mean, if you had, you could do that, but the World Series would end November 4th. There'd be a dead period until December 15th, and that means
No.
nothing would happen until December 12th.
No, I'm saying the other way. Oh. What?
What?
I'm very confused now. I'm saying you can sign people up until December 15th, and then you can't sign anyone until like February 1st.
Yeah, I get that. I'm saying if there's a deadline, nothing will happen until the deadline.
He's just
No.
saying that
Oh, when
MLB
you play
waits for
deadline.
everything.
Like when you do like
Correct.
the trade deadline, like technically you can make trades all year, but nothing happens until
Yeah.
But I feel like the
July
offseason's
30th.
different. In season, it makes more sense because some teams are figuring out, like, let's be honest here, the Cubs this season were like, okay, let's see how they play this next month. They might be sellers, they might be buyers. Like in the offseason, it's teams are still trying to get good players. Like it's not like you're going into next season today and being like, we're going to suck again. So like, let's just get a cheap guy.
I mean,
I hope teams aren't doing that.
it would definitely be nice to have like a week in the middle of December where things get figured out and everybody knows where they're going for the most part, and there's like a little bit left over. But it takes some leverage away from the players being able to wait. I think it'll ever happen? No, but
I don't hate the idea.
Would it be better than the slow burn of this offseason where it's like we're about to hit Jan 1 and nothing's happened? Like maybe.
I agree.
Don't say we're about to hit Jan 1. That scares me.
Let's get the people their screen time. Presented by our friends at Sloan. Sloan is the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems. The company is at the forefront of the green building movement and provides smart, sustainable, and hygienic restroom solutions by manufacturing water-efficient products, including flush-o-meters, faucets, sink systems, soap dispensers, and fixtures for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets worldwide. To learn more, visit sloan.com. What's the screen time? Give me a screen time.
I warned Dakota this morning that this is going to be.
Yeah, he said he's going to be worse than Tom.
I didn't say Tom, did I?
Why am I getting ricochet shots? I'm not even
You said,
involved.
you said he texted me and said my time's going to be higher than Tom's.
I had 454.
It's not even that bad.
Yeah, but hey, I kind of manipulated it here for a while.
You felt it getting high, and you're like,
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, because I woke up pretty early this morning, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, fuck.
Mine. Oh, there we go. 3:43 for me today. That's a high time.
Oh, whoa.
it is high for you, Ian. Actually, Tom, no way. Tom cheated. He
12.
had to have.
Do 12.
Tom, you dog.
Tom.
It was all at 3 a.m. too.
Tom, did you
The
turn your
bars are
phone off all day?
hilarious, and you're.
Tom's got two phones. I'm convinced.
Let's go, Tom. That's a win for you. Mine was 243.
That's good. Good for you.
Oh, I think that's my first win of the year.
Let's
I had
go.
one
That might
chance
be your
left to
first
do it.
win
Tom,
in history.
when you woke up today, did you remember that we were recording and then just stay on your computer all day and text from your computer?
No comment. Listen, I'm happy to get a victory. I'm happy to do what I had to do to get the victory. We needed one
Hey,
before
I respect
all the loyal Tom fans out there. We finally got one.
Tom
you deserve
definitely
it.
brought like an iPad to the office and was like, I'm only using the iPad today.
Well, when you have zero messages use on your phone, that's when you know that somebody's manipulating. It's all right, Tom. That's a good win for you. Deserve it.
I like that.
I'm pumped for you. It's big.
I like that. Hats off.
All of us
That's-
sub 5 too feels good. Like I feel like we're getting a lot
I
better.
was flirting there.
But you stayed under.
That is episode 188
88.
of the Compound Podcast presented by Parse Rum. My favorite rum, your favorite rum. Go to Benny's. Go to your local liquor store. Ask about Parse. If you're in Florida, there's a whole list on the Parse website. All right, it's a great time of year to drink Parse.
Ian forgot to say this at the end of the episode, but this is our last episode for 2023. We're off next week. We'll be back the following week in the new year, and hopefully we'll have a lot of great hot stove baseball to talk about. Thanks for supporting us all year long in 2023, and we'll see you in 2024 for the Compound Podcast.